All right, guys. Tonight we're going to be doing a impromptu thing. I brought in another one of my cousins, so it's three cousins of destruction here. We got Collin Klein, Daniel Klein, and then we'll have Cody Bakewell here. And you guys, the new guy is Daniel, and the two guys on the other side is Collin and myself, Cody. So let's go ahead and what we wanted to talk about. What was that, Daniel? What did you want to talk about?
Well, obviously, over the last 25 years, we've been dealing with this government corruption and pedophile rings, especially at the head of that. It was Epstein, and I wouldn't even say he's the head of it, right? He's the fall guy. He was involved in it. He was a very well-known financier that was able to be embedded into our society and to have all these connections with billionaires and world leaders and government officials. But apparently the story is all wrote, according to the Trump administration recently, because they came out and said that he killed himself and that's all to it. And he's the only person who perpetrated, as well as Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell is really the only person who's serving time at this moment for what Epstein was a part of, which is quite interesting because they did say there was thousands of hours of pedophile and all that sorts of content to go through, and they all of a sudden just said, well, he was pretty much in on it himself and nobody else was involved.
Well, I just have a hard time believing, after watching, driving past the Epstein compound over here off of 41 in New Mexico, that they didn't find anything. They brought truckloads of stuff out of there from what I could see when they were unloading that building. And then they had an island full of crap with a runway and all this stuff and flight logs, and they had a house full of crap in New York and other properties that we don't know about and there's nothing. It's
Yep.
all. And the thing I don't understand is Kash Patel said that even in his interview with Sean Ryan that there was more there than there. Now he's backtracking on all of it.
Yeah, everybody's backtracking once you saw the press conference with Pam Bondi and Trump. Honestly, I'm very confused because when they bring up Epstein, one of the reporters brought up Epstein, trying to get more information on the whereabouts in the investigation, and Trump responds, "I'm sorry, you're still talking about Epstein? He's that's like 20 years old news. You know what? We're still talking about Epstein? I'm worried about Texas right now in Israel, okay?" And that's his response, and it's just kind of confusing me as well as the American people who voted for him. So I don't know. Obviously we've heard this reverse blackmail theory, right? How Trump and his cabinet are able to compile all the perpetrators from the videos, and they're going to blackmail them behind the scenes in order to be able to get information that will somehow be useful to the government. But honestly, I don't know what's going on. It doesn't make any sense based off of that.
Well, Colin, you're pretty tied in more tied in than we are. What is your assessment?
It's whenever you get around intelligence and stories like this, I remember first picking up on this 10 years ago, back before I knew anything, and it was over 10 years ago now. It's 2014, I think, when he was first arrested in Florida, and he was let go because something Acosta. He was the attorney general under Trump. I forgot his first name. It's not
Is it Alex?
Alex Acosta. Yeah, that's it. Bald guy, and he went on an interview, and they asked him, "Well, why didn't you arrest Epstein? It seemed to be pretty open and shut." And he said, "Well, we had him, and then basically we were were told that he belonged to intelligence, so we let him go. So that's on the record. So with things like this, you can only go with things that are on the record. Trump kicked him off of his course, or out of Mar-a-Lago famously. He did know him. I mean, he was a socialite in those circles. Everyone rubs up against each other. Oftentimes, people like that will go and get photo ops or like, selfies with famous people. Like, I love Rabbi Shmuley for this. You know who that is?
Oh my word, that guy.
He's one of the masters of the. He always gets like little selfies with like well-known people, and he's like, "Look at me, I'm in. Like I'm on the inside." And it also it is a way to dirty people up by getting them like next to an operative that's like purposefully doing dirty stuff. So there's a tactic called there's a technical name for it, but basically it's operational misdirection. Basically, you do something really disgusting or horrible to mask your actual operation. What's really going on?
It's like the old thing from. It's like that thing from Charlie Wilson's War. If you have sex and intrigue on one hand, you can park a carrier group on the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that line. That is just like perfect.
That's a great line. That's very true. And I mean, this is the biggest story probably of the decade. And the idea that Trump waves a magic wand and this all goes away, he had to know that this would. He's well aware now. He's more than aware of what media has become. At this point, he's amazing at it, and he knows this would cause a Streisand effect.
Yeah.
Streisand effect? What is that?
Like when Barbara Streisand famously didn't want anyone to know where her house was and made that known.
All
of a sudden, everyone on the internet was like, "I know where her house is," and then she could never live in obscurity ever again. It's the Streisand effect. So, doth protest much, So don't.
I delivered to her house outside of Prescott once. She was kind of a C. Yeah, we'll go with that. I didn't really appreciate her.
Wow, that blows my mind. I can't believe that's amazing. That's actually pretty cool, but
well, yeah, she was
delivered.
We picked up a roof out of Salt Lake City and brought it down to her. There were like a pre-cut roof, and she tried to sue our company because we screwed up her driveway. Yeah, it's like where we
right?
Yeah. What's funny is she's actually next door neighbors to Tom Solik. It was way nicer. But there's a little.
Sense.
I think the interesting thing is going back to Epstein, though, like how Collin pointed out, is I think it was back in 2006 was when he was charged with having sexual relations with an underage girl prostitute. Yeah, I think it was 2006, and that's when he made a deal with the government to give up information and to get off the hook for, get off jail time so that he can go free. But ever since then, it seems like maybe his role as the, facilitator of child trafficking maybe was on the down low. Compared to what it was near the late 90s and early 2000s, but he most likely actually probably would have had a case to bring to a court of law to say that I had immunity, I was an informant, I have not been engaged in these activities since then, and so he probably would have been able to get out on bail, just before he killed himself. So it's quite interesting that he killed himself just before he was able to go out on bail.
And his brother both came out and said that he was feeling pretty optimistic, like he was about to get out or something. Like the last thing they were going to think was he was going to kill himself, it's interesting to me for two possibilities. One is the obvious one. Okay, so he wasn't going to kill himself. The other one is if they know. Which his brother basically said, I basically know he's tied to intelligence. Why would you go around blabbing about this right now when they just off your brother?
Yeah.
Like, to news networks and stuff that, you know how this stuff works. Like, you don't talk about this anymore unless this is a part of some other narrative arc. Because, the CIA figured out, and it's not just CIA, it's just the IC, figured out if you do narrative planting in the population, like, we don't have common memories unless you're like in a family and grow up together. What's our common memory that we all share? Movies.
Big events like.
Sure, but even that, your perception is skewed. You can see different things, but movies are a great way because everyone's constantly, oh, have you seen this? That's like kind of like that movie, you know? And it's kind of like our common reference point. So what they've done by taking control of these major studios and controlling what comes out, or at least what's propagated, because anyone can make a movie, but for the major studios to push it and the distributors, that's really where the power is.
Mm-hmm.
You need clearance and funding to make that happen, and that's so clear in the last 10 years. You've seen all the movies align in narrative building. The climate change stuff is always in the movies. Not every movie, but you know what I mean? It's that.
Mm-hmm.
It's racism, sexism. It's this woke thing that everyone's talking about. It's perception shaping. I wonder, this is my cynical part, if the whole Epstein saga is a perception shaping operation. Possibly. I don't know. It's very, once I see something take hold of the American psyche like this, I'm like, this is kind of like a movie that everyone's watching. And to what end? I don't know. It
reminds me of Wag the Dog.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Let me jump in real quick on that, though, is I'm starting to... I know that you pointed out how it could be trying to push the American understanding into a certain direction, just like a movie would, right? Just like Top Gun or James Bond's, one of the big name movies, right? But the thing I'm trying to understand is what are they trying to get at is what I'm saying, because this seems to be backfiring, if that makes sense. Well, it seems to be backfiring quite bigly.
It's definitely screwing up the movement. They're really pissed off quite the foundation of the MAGA stuff.
Yeah.
The only reason I could see why he would do this, what he would gain out of this, is when you understand, and I've only recently been getting into this with that guy Ian Burlingame I've been sharing with you guys, but he's been bringing up this old idea of the game of kings, where kings become king basically because the powers that be in their nation state allow it. Hereditary lineage only gets you so far, because if you're a dunce, well, oftentimes they actually love that, because then who takes over the court? You know, they just manage the boy retard king, and that's literally what we've been seeing for pretty much our entire lives, this management of the boy retard king for our king. And then Trump's like, no, I'm the king, F you. And if that's true, which it appears to be, that cuts through all the middle management in between, so that world leaders that actually have control over their deep states can start talking to each other. And even the ones that don't, there's ways to communicate without saying things outright. So that's a long-winded way of saying, okay, here, let me show you how much the American people are sick of our country being controlled by intelligence agencies. Watch this. Epstein, who cares about Epstein? And holy shit. It's like the biggest Streisand effect you've ever would want. It's bigger than I would have thought, honestly. I saw it, and I'm like, he just kicked a hornet's nest. But after watching the internet the last few days, I'm like, this not only is not going away, I mean,
it's amplifying.
Oh my God, people are openly calling for public executions finally. Like, this is great. I love this. So,
but the crazy thing is he tried to. It seemed like he was possibly trying to do that because it was just before Pam Bondi answered with probably one of the worst responses I've ever heard to try to cover up the reason why an entire minute is missing from the footage and the time in which Epstein killed himself, she said, "Oh well, that's footage. This is late '90s technology, and it so happens that every single night at this time, 1 minute is missing from the footage of every day."
You have to look at this from the standpoint of people that operate in intelligence and in geopolitics. Like, you have to think about, okay, what are the professionals thinking when they're watching this? Because everything that you're seeing out there is for public consumption. It's about crafting, it's about shaping. So when they see that the majority of Americans are like, bullshit, no, we don't believe that's insane, they're like, okay, that's a litmus test. Okay, so we can only go so far. But this is so stupid on its face. It's like, if you want this to go away,
it's not.
You just shut up. You don't talk. Just be quiet.
That's what I was saying.
Just lead them along. Like, oh yeah, we're looking into it, and then some other crazy shit will happen, and it just goes away. That's the classic maneuver you do if you want people to not pay attention. We have
like the Las Vegas shooter.
Exactly. No one talks about that.
Yeah. Maybe because there's something behind it.
There's definitely something behind it.
I find it interesting that right after that month when he died, Rubin, whatever that guy's, Rubin Report guy.
Yeah.
He does that 1 month. He does that 1 month a year where he like goes totally like media blackout. And he came back, and Glenn Beck was interviewing him right after that it all happened, and he's like, "So this is the big thing." And his first response was, they killed him. And that's been everyone who's ever heard of it says.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, Rubin just came to that conclusion now?
No.
When it came out.
The year it came out, it happened during the middle of his month of silence, when he takes a month off from electronic stuff. Uh-oh. He was having this problem the other night.
It's I think he understands though. Continue.
And his first response was like, they killed him.
Yeah.
And I just can't get around that whole concept that
it was a classic cover-up job, and it was done very poorly, so poorly that pretty much everyone, I would say 90 to 95% of people think that he was killed, and there's no way around it. There's just no way around it. Colin, we were just talking about how Rubin was saying at the time in which it happened that he thinks
he came back
Epstein
and
was
Trump
killed.
Glenn Beck interviewed him, and he's like, "This is what happened while you were gone," and he goes, "Highlight."
Yeah, who's Dave Rubin, by the way? Who is
Dave Rubin?
He's a conservative commentator.
I know who he is. Like, I've seen his stuff. I know who he is. I just mean, like, where did he come from? Who are these people?
He was on.
It's like the Daily Wire.
Well, he was.
Like, why? Anyway, go ahead.
I'm not saying I listen to him or watch him religiously. I just remember him being interviewed by Glenn Beck at the time, and that was his response.
I'm being like conspiratorial. Like, I don't know who of these people are paid operatives and who are there for craft narrative purposes. Like, you understand? I mean, you just need to look at the news. Those people are openly paid to craft narratives for you. Why do you think? And I'm not saying you don't think this, but why does anyone think that these people on the internet aren't the same? It doesn't mean there aren't some real ones out there, but Dave Rubin is like, but it's worth watching these people.
He adopted a child with his husband.
God bless. Good luck with that.
Yeah, with his husband's sperm in his sister's belly.
Better than two lesbians. So, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my
God. So that way he could have the same genetic profile.
Dude.
Well, I definitely want to listen to that.
Send the asteroid now, Lord, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Jesus help us.
Yeah, the thing is what Colin's really trying to point a finger on is, why do we listen to who is a real person and who's not? Who's a bad actor that's placed into the world they're in, like Mark Levin or, like
Yeah,
Rush
Mark Levin
Limbaugh.
has really
or,
fallen out of favor lately, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, like the thing is he's just I like somebody like Ted Cruz. It's just repeating the same talking points, the nonsense that they're paid to say. They can't say anything contrary to it. It's like against their nature.
That Tucker Carlson interview didn't go real well for old
Oh
Teddy.
my word, that was such a mess. Ted Cruz
awesome.
is such a mess.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm like, finally someone's exposing the bullshit.
Well, it was awesome because Tucker Carlson isn't putting up for this crap. He's actually asking hard questions. Oh, and honestly, they aren't hard questions. He's asking, hey, what do you think it's interesting that most of our congressmen and women have a APAC advisor and that they get funding from APAC? They have
Which has been proven to be
events that are put on by APAC. And what do you think about that? What do you think about a foreign lobbying group that's involved in American geopolitical issues? What do you think about that? And he's like, what, APAC? That's not a foreign lobby. That's an American lobbyist group.
Yeah,
well, who's it lobbying for? Huh? Who?
Israel.
Yeah. A foreign country. And he just had a spaz attack. Listen to that. He couldn't he couldn't let it register.
I've met Ted Cruz twice, as a handshake and sat in the audience. He came over here to when that one chick, Yvette Harold, was running for office. He came over here to try to help, and she still lost her ass. But so I met him then, and I mean, I like it.
Didn't save her.
No.
Did you know he's a Canadian citizen?
No, he's not.
He was born in Canada?
He was born in Canada to two American citizens.
I want to know why the hell he's a Texas senator from Canada.
Because
his grandfather was photographed with Oswald right before the assassination.
Dude, it just keeps like.
I've got the photos. I swear to God.
Are we able to pull something up with that? I want to see that.
See the photo.
I'll look.
But on the
Oswald Cruz conspiracy, and it's just
Oswald we know as a CIA informant,
and then he ran off to Canada and started an oil company. All right, that's what.
Oswald's still alive?
No, Rafael Cruz. I've met him.
Oh, okay.
Now he's an evangelical pastor, saving the world from the deep state while his son sucks their dick.
At a mega church or something?
No, he runs around and does political events and stuff.
Oh, okay. Dude.
Well, that's the thing that I'm glad you brought. We had a little background. We had kind of an argument over text message group about.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Lindsey Graham. And,
the Satanist. I really striked a chord with that one.
Well,
let me explain what I meant.
Hang on, before we get there, I've already explained this. Go ahead, 1 second.
Let's not get too far off. I also want to get back to Israel too, from the Tucker Carlson interview.
Oh,
there's old Rafi right there.
That's crazy.
Yep.
It's just crazy.
Yep.
Where was this taken?
I think it was Dallas. I'm trying to.
Well, yeah, it looks like Dallas, but.
I'll look a little further. I hadn't spent too much time looking that up. I just saw that photo and then saw his oil company business, and Ted Cruz acts like a freaking skinwalker. Like when you talk to him, he's just like.
I've been to that ranch too.
You've been to Skinwalker Ranch?
Oh yeah, it's a total bullshit.
Where's it at?
Thing. It's up near Vail, Utah.
Oh.
Lots of weirdness in the desert.
Oh, actually.
Did you know that Mormons think the Sasquatch or Bigfoot's Cain?
Nice.
Dude, what?
Well, when you said Utah, it made me think Mormon, and I think that's interesting.
Mormon.
Well, at least they don't think it's black people, so good for them.
Well, they did
know,
think that they thought that they had the mark of Cain and that they're stained, and that's why their skin was that way.
Yeah, that was a classic.
I don't know. I've been watching a lot of his vlogs lately on Instagram, and they're hilarious. So I don't know.
Who's?
You don't watch. You. They have this AI generated Bigfoot thing going on.
Oh yeah, like the gorilla or the Yeti.
I like it when
What is
they have the Yeti.
Sub chat. Yeah.
They have Bigfoot. He goes, I found this little guy. He's my new friend. And then the next scene is he's like cooking pork.
Dude, all right, I have to tell one of my favorites. Like I like the Bible ones where the AI and they're acting like they're vlogging and they're like, "Yo, what up, chat? Just got arrested. It looks like they're gonna put me in the lion's den. Let's see. I might be cooked, bros. Let's see if I make it through the night." It's like the funniest thing ever.
I don't like
Have you seen those?
Yeah, I don't
The
like
biblical narrative ones?
Yeah,
Is there anything that makes Collin like leave the serious edge? That's the thing.
No.
You're always
We're
so
ruled by
intense.
demons.
Like James Lindsay.
No, I'm just really tired. Sorry. I'm okay.
Well, let's go down that, what I was trying to explain, just to give a little clarity to the audience on what we're talking about in a group chat.
About the argument that we had.
Yeah, we were talking
Let me
about...
give you my position
okay.
first.
Yeah.
So,
Just give a little background to it so they understand real quick.
Collin's gonna go. His head's gonna explode because he doesn't want to.
No, I get your position. It's fine. Like, it doesn't even bother
Yeah.
me. It's,
Let's just explain it to the audience so they understand what we're talking about. Yeah.
I'm very, I guess, triggered by Satanist stuff. I've been involved in some, not involved, but witness to some truly satanic shit. And when you see like places where they've committed human sacrifices in the name of the devil, and down over by Templeton where I grew up, there's a little town. There was this place out in the middle of nowhere. My friend owned the property that had this big rock that looked like a table, and the Satanists would go out and sacrifice young children and animals and all kinds of shit out there. We were always finding nasty crap out there. So when you said that Lindsey Graham was Satan, I was like,
yeah. Well, let me give a little background to the audience so they understand. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy how everybody has like the shortest attention span and didn't realize that we almost had World War III basically a couple weeks ago. Oh, okay, perfect. You went into here. So, I was going to talk about the reason why I went into that argument. So, we originally talked about how it's ridiculous how we're launching ICBMs at nuclear sites in Iran. And then I was criticizing our the Congress who voted basically unanimously, except for three people. I think Massey, Rand Paul, and there was one other. I can't remember.
Was it for the original 9/11 thing?
Oh, sorry, I'm mixing up. That was for the big, beautiful bill. Put that on the back burner for a second. It wasn't voted on for the ICBM strikes. Forgive me on that. But anyways, when they were launched, I was worried, just as everybody else was worried.
I've lost track. Are we talking new history or like?
Well, I'm just giving a little context.
The Midnight Hammer thing. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
to our disagreement.
Okay.
Over the group chat.
It was good. Yeah, go ahead.
It's fine. Yeah, I just wanted, because they don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
go for it.
So we're talking about how we launched tactical missiles at nuclear sites in Iran, and we didn't, but Israel did. We gave them the money to do it. Israel couldn't have done it on their own. Obviously, they're a proxy of the United States. And we basically declared war against Iran, and I thought this was going to trigger a world conflict, as everybody else was thinking as well. And so I was just criticizing our Congress and people who are war hawks, such as James Lindsay, people who just support wars just because they support them, like people who will support the Iraq War, going into Afghanistan, Ukraine. Iran, it's like never ending, and we aren't even doing it on our own interest, right? The missiles being shot at Iran were literally for Israel, and Israel wanted to do it because they don't like Iran, even though they have given them money, and we can go down that rabbit hole. But it's interesting how we get ourselves involved in conflicts that we don't need to get involved in, right? When we got a bunch of crap we need to take care of over here, right? We got homeless people on the streets. We got infrastructure that needs to be built up. Our economy needs, like, we can't ruin the good things that Trump's doing with the economy, like with the tariffs. And so we're just going to trigger World War III just because we like to have war and to kill the terrorists where they stand. Go 9/11 kind of crap. It's just a bunch of garbage to just incite violence and to cause conflict. And so I called James Lindsay a Satanist, and I didn't mean literal Satanist,
Graham,
but
not James.
or sorry, James Lindsay might be a Satanist too.
James is just, well, I don't know.
He's
running a play for somebody. That's all he's doing.
He's weird. I don't even want to talk about him. But Lindsey Graham, yes.
So
And we just had a
Boeing,
disagreement.
defense bar, I mean, it's just like, and it's not that much money, it looks like, but it just trends. And
Put it back up. I wanted to look. Let's see. Explain what we got here. Yeah. I want to see who I'm going to invest in next. Let's start writing some names down.
There's great accounts for that.
Oh, this is who he pays?
No, this is like just for political campaigns.
Dude, that's a ton of money.
That's just total.
Oh.
But these are like the big names, and they have to cap out.
The Republican Jewish Coalition.
Yeah, you're not a member of the RJC? Come on.
You gotta be kidding me. That's an actual thing?
There's like
I
dozens
guess so.
of these things. Nelson, Boeing, Esquarman, and this is just his political contributions. This isn't going into his personal finances.
Yeah, so
That's
this
a
isn't
lot
a good
of
guy. He's not a good guy.
He's not going to go. He doesn't want us to go to war to save freedom. Let's just put it that way, you know. Like, and if this was the first go around, I might be like, okay, let's hear him out. We have a point. We just spent 20 years dicking around in the desert, getting almost over 1 million people killed. That number's very low, 900,000.
And that's just civilians.
Millions are dead.
Yeah, that's just civilians.
Countless, just like injuries, trillions of dollars, trauma, everything that's happened to everybody. I mean, the cost is insert. Like, you can't even put it.
And it was for oil and heroin.
Well, kind of. That's a part.
Oil?
Of it. It's
Oil and heroin.
It's really to choke off the East and permanently control trade routes through the Middle East. The Middle East, if you control the trade routes, you control the world island. That's why the Middle East has constantly been fought over. It's thousands of years people have been trying to take control of those deserts, and it's just so unmanageable. You can't do it. And they just thought, like, okay, well, we got this amazing apparatus, and you saw that video of, what's that guy? General. Keep going, Daniel. I'll look this up.
Yeah, so what Colin's talking about is the importance of basically trade centers, right? Geopolitical trade centers. And this is kind of what we were talking off air about. We were talking about, I mean, this isn't a different topic, but it's very related to what we're talking about with the major geopolitical problems that we're dealing with today, is the importance of control through trade. A lot of people don't realize it, but it's what runs the world. And we're talking about the Venetian banking system. Do you want to talk about that at all, Colin? The Venetian banking system?
Give me 1 second. We can, but let's. Did you want to take a crack at? Hang on a second here. I got this about to pull up here.
Okay. But basically,
video.
and just to explain to the audience, we're talking about the history of why we're seeing economics playing out.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon.
and the way it is today, right? I mean, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Is that audio coming through?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who had used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
So go through the countries again?
Well, starting with Iraq, then Syria and Lebanon, then Libya, then Somalia and Sudan, and then back to Iran.
Interesting how Iran's the last one.
Well, it's the toughest nut to crack.
Yeah.
By far. It's really difficult.
I mean, the Houthis are a little unstable with their support, but that could just be propaganda that we're hearing.
Whenever you see these groups, they're always state-sponsored. There's no such thing as some rebel force out there operating independently. I have yet to see one example of that ever. And honestly, in history, like, the closest thing you could get to are like the old bandit kings, like in the old days. But even they cut deals. Everyone's working for somebody.
Are you talking about like in like the medieval times when you'd have a king?
Like the raiders out on the steppe, or Mongolian. The Mongolians, you could consider them as raiders, and they always cut deals with the Chinese. All right, you hit these people, leave these people alone. We cut deals with them. We're doing trade, but have at these guys and take whatever you want. We'll leave you alone. That's a constant way of managing areas that you don't control. You implement warlords. Classic maneuver.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is these are all they're typically fabricated engagements that we're creating, right? Like
like the Gulf of Tonkin? Yeah.
Gulf of Tonkin, that's a great example. Yeah.
There's not a single war that I've studied that wasn't manufactured to some degree.
Oh, you mean
all of them?
The Maine wasn't blown up in Havana Harbor?
Even our revolution, to a degree.
What?
Oh.
Yes. The thing is a lot of people don't realize.
You've never heard of the explosion on the Maine?
No, he's heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You just had to have a reason to go to war with Spain.
Take
the Philippines.
Take Mexico, get the Philippines, and start the American
No, Mexico
Empire.
lost a long time before that, but they lost Cuba. Costa Rica? Not Costa Rica, is it?
I'm sorry, you're right. Not Mexico, but I'm thinking the
Puerto Rico,
Guam.
Cuba was the big one.
Well, we got Guam too, so.
Yeah, we didn't get Cuba.
We had Cuba. It was a proxy, and then Castro came in under. We let him lead a revolution in there and kill everyone off.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like, it's just.
And the one I like is that we propped up was that Che Guevara asshole. I can't believe he's on T-shirts. That guy was brutally horrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
lefties don't realize he was an extreme. Like, he called like any person born into the Americas, like the Indian natives, as like mudbloods. Basically, he's like, kill them all. Like, they're all dogs. Like, he was an extreme racist. Like, he was all about, because he was from Spanish royal lineage.
Yeah.
Like these people are obsessed with that. That's like their claim to fame. So all these
Like mestizo type
Well,
lineage.
the thing I find interesting still is that my parents went to London or England last year, a year before last, some while ago, and they went to you have to go pay to see Marx's grave. Karl Marx, he's buried in England, or in London.
Of course, he wants to take your money.
He's born in London. He's buried in London. He's buried in a private graveyard that you have to pay to go visit a communist.
That's pretty funny.
The final insult. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. His ideas.
No, Marx is. There's a classic thing that empires use, and that's a technique called the whipping boy, where you have a guy that you put up as like, okay, he's the reason this exists.
What about
Marx.
Lenin? What about when they released Lenin back into the Germans released Lenin back into Russia to go overthrow it? And that was the idea of
by
the United States,
the British.
and with the
Very
funded by the
interesting.
British.
Lots of British gold went in there. So, yeah, no, none of what anything you read in a history book is fake, pretty much. It's like that's for public consumption. That's a story. That's a narrative building that allows you to make sense of your world around you. It also allows you to pick your enemies. Like, okay, these are my enemies, and I'll go to war to fight them if my government tells me to. Instead of, and this is kind of the other thing with Marx, they've gotten conservative-minded people allergic to the idea of classes, especially in America. We don't have this notion of classes of the But
What do you mean by allergic? What do you mean?
Like, we don't want to admit that we have an oligarchy.
Okay.
Because we like to treat any dumbass millionaire walking around like the same as us. You know, like he crosses us, hey, F you, dude, like kiss my ass, I'm American.
Even though it's a reality that you can't deny.
Which I love that attitude. It's why I'll never leave America, because we're the last country, as far as I can tell, that still has it. So I love that attitude.
Yeah, I like that about
But we
America.
do have an oligarchy. So.
But it's also another thing that kind of triggered that allergy, as you say, to the class system was the 60s and the hippie movement, the feminist revolution, which was funded by the government as well as the Rockefellers, one of the main Rockefeller girls.
Same.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty much the same thing because the Rockefellers started.
Who was in charge of the Carnegie Institute, who ran it, was the director of the CIA. It was basically the Carnegie Institute was running the CIA for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Openly, like not even a secret. And it's just unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy. But the other thing was with the class system. So here's the thing with socialists and lefties, and this is how we can make nice with them. They're correct in a lot of their criticisms. In fact, they're really good at finding criticisms.
Yes.
Where you want to, like, E.M. Burlingame, that guy I tell you about, he has this joke all the time. He's like, you know, on the helicopter ride up, I'll hear them out on all their criticisms. I love, like, yeah, and what else you got? Like, let's hear it all. But as soon as they start giving me solutions, throw them right out. Like, kick them right the F out of that helicopter. Bye. And then they're useless for solutions. So, because they're fundamentally resentful children.
Yeah.
That's really why they glob onto that ideology, and that's how they get played through the emotionalism and narrative crafting of good guy, bad guy. They think they are the good guy, and then whoever their controllers, their influencers tell them are the bad guys. Those are the bad guys. Like, Israel is now the biggest bad guy. Israel is like the current version of, you know how the Jews always get a pogrom whenever there's like a big cycle turning or whatever?
Oh,
It's
what?
Like, let's like
A
governments start blaming Jews for everyone's banking
Yeah.
problems, like financial.
Oh, yeah.
We just blame the Jews. It's all their fault.
It's as old as time.
It's like, and he said this, and I was like, that's what it is. They are like designed to be the global whipping boy. And
Yeah.
they're fine with it. They get to be the eternal victim. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying like the people that run that scam.
Yes.
They get to be the eternal victim, and then the eternal, and then they also get to be a part of the system at the same time.
Well, it's also what you see with minorities in America. They love being the eternal victims here.
It's not the Jews running everything. That is
Sure, yeah.
That is so lazy thinking. I get why people may think that, but here's a hint. Once the entire internet starts blaming the Jews, assume they're wrong, because those people are mostly retarded out there.
Yeah,
I don't think the Jews run everything. They're more of management, you know.
Yeah, kind of. Basically.
Well, they are smart people. They're a small group. They get into banking, jewelry, finance, whatever.
They also, I don't even know who they are. You get married in, it's not a direct blood lineage.
Sure.
They'll say, I'm from the tribe of Dan. Prove it. Or I'm from Ben. It's like there's no way to prove.
Yeah, there's no blood. There's no DNA bloodline.
There's no record of this.
No.
It's all made up from religious traditions, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them having their religious traditions.
Which makes you wonder how Hitler tried to kill them all off.
Or was it really he was trying to go after a different class of people? I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
Because that was for public consumption. Again, they're the eternal whipping boy.
Yes.
Does the High Command of Germany really believe it was this group of people that was...
I think they did. I think they believed that they were...
I think it was something for the... It's very possible they did. It's very possible.
I'm very certain.
But given the amount of... I've gone into a lot of Nazi intelligence stuff, and I'm like, these guys were cutting edge to the point of they had a continuity of government system in place that I don't think ever went away.
Well, the thing is, yeah, maybe you're right about certain higher ups within the Nazi government, but
management down, it gave them an enemy to be okay, these are the bad guys, go get them.
Yeah.
You know, and they just.
I mean, if we're talking about like Heinrich Himmler actually believed this crap.
The occultists, if you study Nazi occultism, there's like 8 major sects that I've looked into. And yeah, blood purity is all very important, especially in those times. They were
the Ba'athist Party. The Ba'athist Party was the remnant of the Nazi Party. We were
they're basically the neocons that were put. That's right. They were put in charge of the Middle East. That's right.
Yeah, the Ba'athists were Nazis.
Yeah. When we see neocon, what we're really saying is the remnants of the old fascist Nazi Party that existed within their networks of these countries, including the United States.
I've always wondered what
I've never looked
a
at it that way.
is. Everyone's like neocon. I'm like,
basically they're Nazis.
It's a trope.
They don't even know it. A lot of these people don't even realize their own history. They just follow their own incentive structures. Oh, Boeing's going to pay me $1 million if I say this bill, if I push this bill forward. Okay, on the NDAA. Okay, great, got it.
Hey, is it okay if we segue back to that Tucker Carlson interview? There's something I want to hear what you guys think about this.
sure.
When Ted Cruz, one of the criticisms that Tucker had with Ted Cruz was he asked, why do you support Israel? And Ted Cruz tried to dance around the question. He's like, I'm here for the American people, America first. Even though he could quote Ted Cruz saying that when he got into office as a senator, he said, I want to be the #1 fighter for Israel, even though he said that. But he goes on to pontificate about his reasons for supporting Israel. He said, #1, because the Bible tells me so. It says, those who bless Israel will be blessed. And that's what I believe.
I heard a lot of that same stuff growing up. So, I mean...
What do you think about that?
You guys talk about this, me and Dan. Daniel's my proxy. I'll be right back.
Is your proxy...
What do you think? What do you think about that, Cody? With people who are rooting their support and belief in the state of Israel, thinking that is analogous to the biblical Israel in the passages in Genesis.
One has anything to do with the other. I think that we should definitely try to support the Jewish people as a whole, but I don't know about Israel. The old Israel has been gone for hundreds of years, so I don't understand that. I do think that the Jewish people have been blessed. I don't know if they still are. But.
Well, the thing is what are the Jewish people is what I'm wondering. I feel like this question hasn't really been answered well, because are they people that, is it the nation as a whole? Is because a lot of times what Israelis will say, right? The Israeli government, they'll say, if you criticize Israel, you're criticizing the Jews. You're an anti-Semite, right? So is it the nation? Is it the majority? Or is it a culture? Is it a religion? A race? How can we pinpoint that?
I've wondered that myself for a long time. I mean, what are they? I know that our religion is based off of Judaism, so I kind of have a little bit more in common with them, but I don't see the Muslims as being, are the friends of us. Everywhere they go, they try to conquer and bring in Sharia law, so it's like...
It's in their ideology, yeah.
Yeah, and I've researched Sharia law, and I'm not necessarily a fan of that concept.
I would hope not. So to piggyback off what you were saying, I think one mistake that a lot of people make these days is that they assume that the Judaism like, as in the religion. I'm not talking about people, okay? Chill out, everybody. I'm not just criticizing Jewish people. I'm saying the Judaism that we see today is not the Judaism that existed 2,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
This is the remnants of Talmudic rabbinic rabbis coming together, compiling what we know as the Babylonian Talmud, which are various rabbinic writings and traditions that have been recorded. This didn't even fully come together until about the 5th, 6th century AD. And so what we have today is not actually Judaism from a Christian standpoint. It's not really comparable.
Well, for
right?
the longest time, I always thought, until very recently, when Colin and Corey were talking about it, I always thought there was like one Catholic religion. But I know that there are lots of versions of the Jewish religion too. So it's like, there has to be... I've met Jewish people that are pretty, like, from sun up to sundown. They're like, nothing can happen.
There's a lot of... those are more the Orthodox. And Orthodoxy is really where you're going to find the old remnants of the original Jewish faith. And even within the Orthodoxy, you've got so many mystical schools of thought.
Yeah, like Kabbalah. Yeah.
Yeah, but even Kabbalah has bled out into the more secular Judaism of like kind of a Judaic Freemasonry kind of self-improvement guide. And it's worth studying to understand it and not be afraid of it, because people throw that word Kabbalah out and just people don't know what it is, and then it just sounds scary and bad.
It's Jewish mysticism.
Yeah, and there's truth within it. Like, there is truth.
Yeah.
Mysticism means the study of the mysteries of reality.
Well, I understand that, but what are we looking at here on the screen?
This is the history.
So this is Israel. Yeah. So
this is how it was started.
So this is another thing. Back to what Ted Cruz said. He said, "I support Israel because God will bless me."
I'm going to go over it if you want. Okay.
We're going to go over the what we see today isn't the Israel of the Bible, right? Ted Cruz is, I don't know, he's retarded, or he's just repeating what his AIPAC advisor is telling him.
I don't think that was retarded.
He's not. Yeah, he's not. I know what you're saying. No, you're saying he either is stupid or something else is going on.
Yeah. So I'm assuming.
Carolla, I like the Adam Carolla. There's only two camps. You're either stupid or liar. Yeah, there is.
I agree, and I think it's more likely the latter. And the thing
he's
is
definitely lying about some things.
He's a good lawyer, which means he's a bad person.
Yeah, I mean, he went to Harvard. I mean, I'll give it to him.
And
He's a
Yale.
white guy that went to Harvard, so.
And Yale.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I called him retarded because I'm like, it's either he is retarded or he's just a really good liar that's being paid by AIPAC. And
You're
it's probably
saying
that.
retarded in the way that we used to use it in the 90s. Like, that's stupid. That's retarded.
Yeah.
I want to try to bring it back from just AIPAC though, because and I put that graph up there for a reason, or that chart.
You go over it real quick, Colin.
What is the common thread that we're seeing here?
Hey.
And Cody, I'd like you to answer that.
Hi, how are you? Oh, you going to bed? Oh. All right, cool. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So, starting at the Balfour Declaration, who instigated that?
A thread, a common theme here.
It's almost said in every single bullet point.
Couple nation states.
Just the commonality.
What are we talking about? I'm lost.
It's Britain,
It's frickin' Britain.
Oh, all this
the
stuff?
British Empire.
The British government set up the modern state of Israel to act as a triggering device for what we're seeing today. Okay? That's the whole point of it, was to have a foothold, and then they hid behind the Holocaust as the biggest atrocity that's ever been committed on the face of the earth, which it was bad, but it's not anything close to the worst. I mean, the Chinese government's killed 80 million of their own people that we know of.
Oh, yeah.
It's their day, we don't
Yeah.
give a damn about them. But we got to go create a nation state and a haven for these. No, we do business with the Chinese government. They're our partners. We don't, but that we need to carve out a nation state in the middle of Arabs that's run by the UN and British government, as using the U.S. as a proxy, with a fake government that's installed down there under the name, under the Jewish religion, so no one can ever criticize it.
Yes.
And if they ever do, you're anti-Semitic.
Yep.
Well, I have to say, though, I'd rather have the Jews than the Palestinians. So
There's a ton of Christians in Palestine. Like, this
Yeah,
is
also
also
kind of
me.
there's
Like,
there's also a ton of there's a ton
dude,
of
these
Arabs
aren't
and
Jews. They're British proxy cutouts for bankers.
yeah,
They're
but,
not even Jews.
but my thing is that when you look at a group of people, I know there's a small percentage. Like the October 7th thing was brutal, and I'm like, if you got to choose,
Dude,
The thing
come
is,
on.
are we gonna go down? Wait, calm down real quick.
I'm not mad. I'm like, dude, Cody.
We're gonna go down the Israel-Palestine. So,
Okay, go ahead.
I think we should try it.
take
No,
the
go ahead.
screen down. real
So
quick.
I'm gonna take the bait because I completely shared that opinion, and then I woke up, and the thing is what happens when you subjugate and starve a group of people for dozens of years and install a terrorist government over them and fund them and and cry and whine when they come and attack you out of nowhere. That's what I'm wondering, because Israel is on the record. They are on the record funding Hamas and giving them money.
So did the United States. So
Yes, it's all of a piece.
It's all created conflict. So I'm not going to be like, there's no sympathy for me coming to Israel.
Well, I have sympathy for the people caught up in this giant mess.
Oh, yeah.
On all sides, like I'm not.
I'm talking about the government,
Yeah.
to be clear.
Yeah. No, me too. But October 7th. All right, how big is Israel? It's like the size of Vermont, right?
it's like New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they have like supposedly Shin Bet, Mossad. They got the tightest border controls. They've got the top like super soldier
The IDF.
intel agents. Yeah, the IDF are like the Israeli Spartans, and they couldn't respond to a 1,200 man attack with freaking gyrocopters and dirt bikes for 8 hours. It takes 20 minutes with a Black Hawk, and if you got there in 20 minutes, you'd be court-martialed. Like, in terms of rapid response. No one showed up. It was a bunch of old veterans that first showed up in their Jeeps and their guns to start fighting these guys off. There was a stand down for 8 hours. They let those people, they literally set up a music camp.
Yeah, it was a festival.
Like Babylonian, like hedonistic sex festival right next to a bunch of radical Muslims.
What did they think was going to happen?
And a bunch of 20-year-old girls. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
It's a pressure cooker. Never, like, have you seen Sweden when they let in all the illegal, all the Muslim immigrants? You see what happens? Doesn't work.
I'm just saying that there is no way. I mean, unless someone can show me some evidence, there is no way you could convince me that that was not set up and that was not a purposeful stand down.
It was obviously allowed. They obviously allowed it to happen, so then Israel had the free will to obliterate Palestine, and they obviously, and they've come out on the record saying that they want to put because that real estate, believe it or not, it's right on the West Bank. It's right there on one of the most beautiful areas in the world.
They need a port right there in the Red Sea.
Oh yeah, and they also want to turn it into a real estate tourist center, right?
Well, that's it.
Who's in your way?
It's really the
Palestinians.
They need that port. They need that port for their trade. Like, and I don't understand the history of why Gaza was even set apart. Like, that's the thing I haven't been able to crack down on. Like, why was that not?
I don't understand it either.
Why did they not give Israel sea access?
I don't get it.
What I could think of was for a moment like this.
Well, my question is, okay, so 1947, when this whole thing, when it started going to shit, the British backed out and they went to war, and all that stuff. Doesn't does the victory go to spoils, though? I mean, they won.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't even have a problem with that. That's not my problem. I'm just saying, let's make damn sure we know who's running the show here.
I'm not mad at Israel for being a more dominant force, and I'm not just mad at Israel because they're a bully and they're more powerful than the Palestinians. I'm like, okay, you can have your land. We get it.
Go ahead,
I'm just saying that I'm going to sound really bad, and I don't care, because I'd rather see the Jews win over the Arabs. Palestinians,
I don't know if you would want that, but
there's a lot of Arab Christians that you don't know about.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Well, now, what Israel did to Iran, I'm like, well, you got enough on your fucking plate. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, are you just trying to get all this in before, while you can? Is that what this was?
Yes.
I have to tell you though that project. I have to tell you that project I worked on making the bunkers out here, and they tested those bunker buster bombs on. I was like, yeah, baby, that was our work. Go for it. Drop that bitch. So.
Well, can I give you what I think happened with that whole thing?
With the nuclear sites?
Yeah, I told Daniel about this, but how long was that telegraphed that we were going to bomb that site? Weeks?
Oh, yeah.
In the public sphere?
Yeah, that's
months
crazy.
In intelligence?
Yeah.
Plenty of time. And there's photographs of all their trucks pulling shit out, by the way.
But have you ever been involved in the moving of nuclear material? Have you ever seen what it takes to move nuclear material, especially highly enriched? So when you get the amount of the way you move that shit, that's not done in dump trucks. And the stuff that we're showing, I've worked out at the WEC site, or the waste disposal site for nuclear waste. I've nuclear waste certified with my hazmat stuff, and the way you transport nuclear fissile material, even enriched stuff, that takes some pretty special moving equipment, and it takes a lot more than pickup dump trucks to move that shit.
Well, they also don't have OSHA watching their ass either. It's Iran.
Yeah, but they also, being around Sandia National Laboratory, going out and helping them with their extension, and then going up to Los Alamos, working around that nuclear site up in there. If you want, even though they only got to 60% enrichment, that's still some serious enrichment. You can't really fuck around with that stuff.
Look, we're talking about tech that's from the 50s.
Yeah.
This is old tech.
It's earlier than that.
It really is. I'm just saying for public consumption, it's way
Yeah.
earlier than that. But, I mean, the equations were drawn up in the 1800s. So let's assume that that's all the case. You got China right to the north, Russia's right over there, and you're telling me that the North Koreans get nukes, but the Iranians don't?
Yeah, what's that about? Why don't we have a full-scale invasion of North Korea?
Yeah,
Because the Chinese.
And who's been helping fund the Iranian regime? You know, it's like
China
and Korea.
And Russia. You know.
Well, China is open. Everyone knows this is open source information. They get all their oil from Iran. They're paying for, they're paying for tanker loads of oil. And when they were like, what is the Strait of Moose or whatever that is through the Persian Gulf?
Well,
they're going to shut
Gulf
that
there.
down. They're like, they ain't going to shut that down.
I think it's 20% of the world oil, isn't it?
20% of China's oil.
20% of China was what I heard. I could be wrong.
Okay.
This is
Maybe it's the oil that comes through the ports there that I'm thinking of.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
It would cripple the global economy if the Hormuz
Yeah.
Straits were shut down. It'd be
Yeah.
bad.
Well, it would really screw up China. Yeah.
It would hurt them more probably than it would hurt us. That is true. That's why when I saw them sending old aircraft carriers into there, I'm like, that's a very fancy roadblock right there and a reason to piss a lot of people off. I was like,
like the old saying,
the Nimitz?
like the old saying, don't touch your boats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if that was a part of, like, that was a side plan, like if things didn't work out the way they did. But here's what I think
they sent a
happened.
50-year-old aircraft carrier up there. That's 2 years from retirement. Yeah.
Yeah, and just block the whole thing off, and oh look, they destroyed an aircraft carrier.
What do you think happened, Colin?
I think Trump, as he normally does, he is a really cool customer, and I hate to say this because I want to be so critical of him and hate him sometimes, especially from the COVID thing. But with this, it was like he accelerated the timeline and gave the neocons exactly what they wanted. He's like, all right, you want a war? Fine, let's go hit them with these old B-52s we're about to retire. And
they're not going to retire. The B-52's got another 40 years.
We're about to upgrade. Let's put it that way. Okay, it's old tech. It's been around a long time. It's not anything that we'll send them in for one more run. Whatever. This will be their last.
But they send in the B-2s. They send in Spirits though. B-2 bombers.
B-2s. Sorry, not B-52s. B-2s. You're right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the B-2s. They're about to upgrade and get rid of them. Or not get rid of them. They'll start the process of retiring them. I'm sure they'll still run some sorties here or there, but as a first strike capability weapon, they've pretty much been broken. The signatures, I mean, they got a lot of data from running 6 B-2s over that territory with those S-400s they got, and and God knows what else in the radar system. So they got to do a little war game right there with that, and they got to hit a mountain and get to see what those bombs do, and it does telegraph.
Have you ever?
Okay, we can hit them. But at the
Dude,
same
I've
time,
been there, watched them to drop that shit out here on the test range. that's a good fireball that comes off that stuff.
No, I
man.
have no doubt that we can make.
I'm like, woohoo, America! Drop that bitch 3 times.
Right, but
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
What?
But what I'm saying is, I think this was kind of an out for everybody. It's like, okay, we're going to hit Iran. We're going to give the neocons exactly what they want. All right, we hit your nuclear site. Now they have no nuclear program, which is stupid. Anyone with a brain knows, like, okay, they have multiple sites. It's not just that one place. That's
But they hit
absurd.
3 sites.
It was all right there. And then they hit some stuff above ground, and Israel hit some whatever. But here's the thing: even in that site, which was supposedly the tier 1 priority, there were a bunch of surface targets all over the place. That's why they had to scramble a bunch of F-35s to go in and do SG hits.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, why didn't Israel, with all your missiles and capabilities, why didn't you go and just clear the way? Oh, you didn't. Okay. Cheap bastards. Anyway.
I like that meme that they have where they show the Iranian missiles coming in and then the Patriot missiles going to take them out. It says American funded, both American funded materials coming to get them. Hey, baby, what's up?
Yeah. And it's easy to go for the America, oorah, like we're the best, ha ha ha, until you realize how much all this shit costs and how much.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Take care of your daughter. It's okay.
No, she's just being 3.
Yeah, mine's about there too. They're real sweet till they ain't.
Well, she got tested today. She did pretty good. So, we had the evaluation done for her today. She's doing real good. So,
it's good news.
Yeah, I was happy.
But what I think happened was, I think this was kind of a mutual understanding. Like, okay, this is a way for us to all get out of World War III here. Like, instead of continuing this escalation ladder, we'll hit your nuke sites. Now you have no nuclear program. Even though, wink and a nod, you're next to some of the biggest nuclear powers on the world combined. And it's like, oh yeah, there's no nuclear capacity in Iran. Okay, fine, whatever. But now the neocons don't have some bullshit narrative to say, well, they also got this other side. You know what they did the day after they bombed this? They literally came out. Fox came out and was like, well, Pakistan just got some ICBMs that could hit San Francisco.
I know. I remember what
it's like. Oh, we got to go after Pakistan now. Oh, okay. So this is a giant fucked up game of just causing creative destruction. In my opinion, this has nothing to do with, they want you scared of a bunch of people in robes and sandals that are going to come for your women and children, which I am not a fan of extremism, like Muslim extremism. I'm not. Islam is expansionary by nature. It tends to take over city councils. It tends to take over cities.
Well, the thing I don't understand.
The problem is Christians are weak as hell. We don't know how to do anything for ourselves.
But
like
we weren't
I don't
always.
want to be involved in politics. People might get mad at me.
Christianity's gotten soft, which is why, Islam has been.
They're gonna win. Until Christians step up.
Not on social media. They've kind of been destroyed, but definitely with their infiltration through immigration.
I'm just so sick and tired of everyone coming up and they're like afraid to offend these people. It's like the most ironic thing I see is gays for Palestine. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Do you know what they do to those people over in Palestine?
Do you what the Muslim religion does to gay people? I'm like,
yeah, that's a classic trope though, that they try to get people to dismiss all this stuff like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
I highly recommend you that I respect our enemies. I really respect what Islam is capable of doing. It's impressive.
Well, what's getting
it is
going up right next to my house. Like,
it's smart. Colin, think about it. The Muslim conquest of the Crusades, right, back 1,000 years ago, right? They couldn't do it. They couldn't conquer. I mean, they conquered quite a bit, right? They went all the way to Spain, and surprisingly, they decided. Well, yeah, they skipped the interesting part that where the Eternal City is, the Vatican, but the Muslim conquest kind of died out after that. Once the Reconquista and everything like that happened,
yeah, you know
but now.
That warfare never changes in Fallout.
Yeah, war never changes.
War never
exactly.
Changes, but warfare does. It's changed dramatically in the last 1,000 years.
And do you know what they do instead? Instead of conquering by the
reasons
sword, you know what they do?
Conquered by the
They
sword.
infiltrate through immigration. That's what we see. We see these Sharia law people in the Congress or up in the Parliament in Canada, right? We got there's cities, towns.
They have 5. They have, what is it? London has a Muslim mayor. Liverpool has a London mayor. There's like a few more, but they're just working their way in like a cancer.
Infiltration. It's a smart tactic. That's what they're doing.
I'm less worried about the Muslims though than I am about the people that have hijacked our governments currently, because they are not Muslims.
Yeah.
Like they are. And we've been trying to put a name onto these people. We call them globalists. We call them internationalists or communists or whatever. I love how this guy, I keep trying to show you guys, Ian Burlingame, recommend everyone watch him.
He's super
He
smart.
calls them continentals. Because this is an old problem that goes back to the landlocked countries of Europe running infiltration operations for banking, financing, to take control of the English, the Spanish, all the port countries that could be in direct competition with the Venetians.
Yes.
And like the Spanish Empire was a real thing for a long time. Like all empires, overextended, didn't have the bandwidth at home to manage the empire at home. That's how all empires collapsed. These people got smart, and instead of building their own nationalistic empire with a border and a country, with borders to protect, they became internationalists 1,000 years ago. And just infiltrated all these countries and financialized them and played both sides of the bet and won the way. And that's how it all worked. And it was the Rothschilds. It was a bunch of other banking families.
Rothschilds.
Well, the thing is, the interesting thing about this, Colin, is that I mean, we've talked about this, but just to give more context and understanding to the viewers, is that the Venetian bankers were the remnants of the Roman Empire, right? They were the remnants of the elitists and the
old Roman families that survived
upper crust,
Yes, and basically made deals with the barbarians.
Yep. Yes. And so what they did is later on, once the European nations started forming back in the Middle Ages, is this was around the time of the Black Plague, right? The Venetians were building up trade routes with the Mongols, right? The Mongolian horde that was sweeping across Asia and got all the way to the Middle East, right? The Mongolians got through Israel and conquered that area. Yeah, well beyond it.
Famously, Genghis Khan sent one of the generals, Subutai, into Georgia at the time, the Kingdom of Georgia, and that was like when the Eastern countries started realizing, oh, we got a problem here, but they always skipped Venice, Italy.
Yeah, but they used it, right? The Venetians used this. So what they did is they used the resources that Europe offered. Yeah, like the silver mines. They leached all the silver out of the European natural sources, and they traded them.
And Cody, the reason this all ties into what we're talking about is because the Venetians basically moved from Venice once Italy was sacked and robbed of everything, and transferred all their wealth, the same families, over to what we call Amsterdam today, and basically
the Netherlands.
Swamp and the Netherlands, which interfaced with the English and the French and the Germanic tribes, and also kept those old networks that were established with the East. And then once that kind of got underway, then what was happening around this time? Well, the English were at war with the continent constantly, ever since Alfred the Great consolidated England, and they were just at war with France, all those different families constantly, and then eventually, during the English Civil War in 1660, I can't remember, I think it was 1686, something like that. And Cromwell, you know the story of Cromwell, where he cut off Charles I's head off. He was like, okay, the king is selling us out. He's selling out the rights of the English people. He's a tyrant. He needs to be checked. Like, the Magna Carta means nothing anymore. Like, they're destroying our rights. And what Charles was doing was trying to consolidate his assets in the English ground because they were being invaded covertly by the mainland continentals, by the Dutch.
Yep.
They were buying off the parliamentarians. That's why he disbanded Parliament and was like, okay, I'm the king. You guys are all corrupt. I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. And then Cromwell's like, this is tyranny. He's going to destroy. He's a Roman papacy agent, or something like that. And basically, and then it led to the English Civil War. And then
1864 to 1642 to 1615.
1642.
1642 to 1651.
Yeah. So it's called the Glorious Revolution, when the monarchy was overthrown and Parliament came into power. And guess who bought out Parliament? Because everyone bought. You just have to look at our Congress today. It's the same freaking thing. Everyone has a paymaster. There's very few people with conscience. I could count them on both hands, and even then, it's a little,
It's fuzzy.
It's very fuzzy. And it was the Dutch that bought out the English Parliament and conquered England and turned it into the British Empire.
Holy
The
shit!
British
Look at all.
Empire
There's a.
kicked off right before then.
Then the city of London, right?
Well, the city of London was established well before that, but that's where they made their enclave.
Didn't they get consolidated by the Dutch East India Company?
So the British East India Trading Company had like 4 wars with the Dutch East India Trading Company during this reconsolidation effort, because this was all done covertly. This wasn't like, okay, the English people were consulted and now you're Dutch citizens. That was not. No, you were English, but eventually it was like, no, you're British. You're a part of the British civilization.
Then the United Kingdom.
Well, the Brittanies were, if you look in the old maps of England, they were a tiny little kingdom that got wiped out like hundreds of years ago in a lot of wars. They weren't even a real thing. They erased the English identity.
Dude, this is incredible.
Yes,
Well,
there's
the
more-
crazy.
There's been more than one English Civil War. There's been like 8 of them.
A lot of people don't realize that these things are going on in the background and they aren't recorded in the history
First
books that you're
Barons
being
War.
taught in school.
First Barons War, Second Barons War.
And the barons were trying to keep control over their lands, like the states versus the federal government. States
Yes.
kind of fight. It's like, hey, who the hell are you guys to come in and tell us what to do? And then eventually it was infiltrated. And I'm not saying King Charles was a saint, but he was trying to preserve what was left of the English identity.
Yeah, well,
and
we had an enemy in the Catholic Church was kind of up his ass too. They kind of got pissed.
You got the Catholics involved. England was beset from all sides, and people forget this is way before what we call the British Empire. The British Empire kicked off right after the Civil War.
Yeah.
That's when it went into full expansionary mode, because now they controlled the moat and controlled the security zone around Europe, which allowed.
It's interesting.
And it basically just funneled all resources
Yeah.
into the English Navy, and then that was that. And then the Dutch East India, they had like their competition, faux wars going on where they would fight for resources or whatever, because there was still factionalism going on. But no matter which side won.
I didn't realize that they thought that the American Revolutionary War was considered a British Civil War.
Yeah, I mean, the Americans at the time considered themselves to be more English than the so-called English. They were
I'm reading
fighting.
about that right now.
They saw them as being infiltrated by the Continentals, and they were like, "Oh, you're not real Englishmen. You don't believe in like every man."
So that it says, I never realized this. It says here that the Americans were considering themselves to be pure British, and that they did not support
English, not British, English. fucking English.
They're from the British fucking islands. Okay, so whatever.
The English islands. That was a psyop. They changed the name.
Oh, whatever.
But
it's important.
Here, wait. Let me point something out real quick though, for the viewers.
So according to this timeline, the reason they left England is to preserve the English, English in 1620.
Yes, the elites that left, the aristocracy that left, which became basically our founding fathers, left because they realized we need to start over.
Well, they left 20 years before, and then they kind of got ruled. And wow, okay. So I've always wondered. I'm like, what the? There has to be more.
Well, there's also an interesting thing is a lot of people don't like. How does the British Empire you don't get taught that in school? When does this world superpower just come on the scene? Right?
Why would they teach? Why would and when the Americans split off from the British Empire, they didn't want to. They didn't care about British history. From that point on, they were
English.
It's like the whatever. They did not.
British is a fucking made up word by the Dutch to disenfranchise us from our homeland.
Well, and then also,
but
if we want to get at
there was that whole even up till the Civil War, they didn't want anything to do with England or Europe, and they were like that's
Sure.
why we were trying to maintain our influence in the Americas, that's why we
Washington
had the
on his speech said, "Do not go abroad in search of monsters to slay, for they are there, and there are many."
And then
manifest destiny, and then we might have a chance to destroy Leviathan.
The interesting thing though is
Notable
about
uprisings.
the British Empire that we were just talking about is it kind of gets lost in the weeds, these ideas of the Dutch East India Company and everything, but the important thing to bring home is that the tactics that these internationalists are using are the same tactics they're using today. And it explains why we're dealing with the problems that we're dealing with in America, right? Because in reality, we're the last bastion that they're trying to conquer and parasite upon to be able to leech the resources, and they're starting it, right? And so that's why we see
we're in the collapse phase. They're well beyond.
And so this mirrors kind of what they did back in the 14th century, right? With the Black Plague. This is what I was going to get at earlier, because the Mongolian trade routes created a huge way to be able to sell off the natural resources that the Venetians leached from the European countries, like silver, and to sell it over in Mongolia for more than what it's worth to buy up their gold and bullion and bring it back over to Europe. Yeah, it's gold silver arbitrage. It's one of the smartest finance tactics ever, right? Buying something, selling it for something cheaper that's worth more where you're from, right?
I do the same thing. It's smart.
And so it's not a coincidence that the Black Plague broke out to depopulate Europe, so then the Venetians and then later on the Dutch East India Company can come in, leech all of the capital, all of the plunder, all of the loot that's left behind from everybody who died off. Like the royal families died. A bunch of people, half of Europe died off during the Black Plague, right?
Black Plague. That's what a lot of people don't forget. There were a lot of wars going on.
Yeah.
And that led to a lot more depopulation. And once you depopulate, you destabilize
Yes.
systems, and then you.
Yes.
They also during there they had that mini ice age that kind of fucked everything up too. Killed off a lot of people with that.
And so that brings us to COVID. Oh, an ice age.
An ice
Yeah.
age, yeah.
We're entering into a solar minimum. Yep.
Well, no, we're already into it.
Yeah, but it takes a long time.
It's at the beginning of the solar cycle.
Yeah.
It kind of gives perspective to why we went through COVID, right? Because it was a ploy to depopulate and take resources and assets and capitalize on them, right?
Yep.
If you kill off all the boomers, right? If you kill off all the boomers and force them into those assets into their families that need to sell them off to get some money to just survive, right?
But
that's why you see these big corporations like BlackRock, Vanguard coming in, buying up housing, and turning them into developments for
look
multi.
Look what it did in Europe.
Yeah.
They have land. Well, like Italy, they have land. They had land that was so tied up in family trusts that they could never move. And then all of a sudden, they came in and killed off like a third of the population, or however, a significantly larger portion of the population. And now they have Western Europeans and English coming down into England, into Italy, buying up this land that was been generationally locked.
Yeah.
British, I would say. I'm just want to. I know this sounds annoying, but the people we're talking about today are British. They are British.
Yeah.
I'm saying when we're talking about our tradition in the old way, like the
English.
we're talking about English civilization. We're
Yes.
talking about the Magna Carta. Every man has a right to his own property rights, equal common law. All those things come.
Sovereignty.
Yeah, that comes out of the English tradition.
Yeah.
Which comes out of
The Christian tradition.
the Christian, but also the Viking tradition.
Yeah.
Like really, a lot of it was the Viking tradition, but mixed Viking with Christianity.
Well, yeah.
You know,
That's what you get. It's interesting when you get the perspective of how nothing is new under the sun. The world is a wheel within a wheel. History repeats itself over and over again. The same tactics are being used.
I just came across this recently. I'm new to this too, so I didn't.
Yeah, me too.
I knew something was wrong with all this. Like where did
The
these
narrative.
come from? Like it's like a pestilence that just inflicted itself upon the planet. They just leech resources wherever they go. And I'm like, it's not the Jews. There's something else going on here.
Yeah.
But the Jews have always been a good scapegoat.
They're the whipping boy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and it goes back to the Bible when they because with all the Jews turning over Jesus and all that other stuff to the Romans, and so I mean they've been a good scapegoat for a long time.
Well, the interesting thing is when you have a small group of hyper successful people, they're automatically going to be the first ones to blame when things go wrong.
Like the kulaks,
right?
Well, the same thing
Kulaks.
happens with
Exactly.
when you have a minority group that comes in and has a lot of adversity and finds success. I mean, like there's a lot of envy of that. When you look at and it happens all the time here in the United States, like the Jews, and then you have the Indians with all their stores and restaurants and stuff. Not like Indians, not like
7-Eleven.
feathers. Yeah, and they have this success, and then the success that comes along with it causes envy
Yep.
amongst a whole bunch of group.
Yep.
So
And the resentful class is always there.
It's a way of controlling people. That's exactly when you come up and you say, "This is the enemy." Yeah, what is it? Margaret Sanger used it to gain power back in the early 1900s.
Yep.
In the late 1800s.
She started Planned Parenthood to kill off black
All
people.
the blacks.
And I think she was a real believer in what she said. By the way, I've
Oh,
read
yeah.
a lot of her interviews. I think she's. I think.
But
she
who else?
actually believed.
But who else was involved in that? That's the thing that always gets me is Teddy
Eugenics?
Yep.
Teddy Roosevelt was in all.
Now that's a new one to me. What's that
Well,
about?
The Roosevelt family is a very old family.
Yeah,
Very
they're like
British.
American aristocracy. Yeah.
Aristocracy?
They're American aristocracy. And Teddy Roosevelt.
Like the Kennedys?
Well, the Kennedys
They're more
are
modern.
Irish.
They're more modern.
They're like mutts that came on the scene, and their dad was a gangster, and that's as far back as I can track them. I don't see them.
Yeah, he wasn't he involved in like running booze during the Prohibition?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Well, there's
you
a
start
lot
really.
of connection.
You start really reading into that, and a lot of that was, how do you explain it? You know, it's like it was propaganda against the Kennedy family because he went against the CIA. So you don't really know how tied into the mafia he was, because they released all that stuff after JFK died about how he was.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, you're 100% right about that. That was
The CIA did a lot to Yeah, the CIA did a lot of stuff to disenfranchise people from the Kennedys.
Well, it was also the Democrat. It was also his opposition when he was running for president. That was part of his Oppo research. Like, oh, they're a bunch of booze runner criminals, you know. And there's an element of truth to that, in the sense of, look, you didn't get involved in politics and not be connected to the mob in some way. It just didn't happen. You would not get turnout of votes because those are the guys that controlled the local precincts at the time. So there is a connection, but it's like everyone was playing that game.
Yeah, it's just you don't know where I don't know where a lot of it is, because you listen to like Robert Kennedy talk about his family history, and it's not exactly what. But also, he was running for office, so he's trying to prop himself up.
He's saving face.
Yeah.
No, like, why would you? Yeah, he would never say anything bad about that. But
I do agree with him on his food.
We're fighting a very old war that's been going on for thousands of years, and once we understand, like, our biggest problem is identifying the enemy. Once you identify the enemy, it gets a lot easier. So the good news and what I see is happening a lot with this Trump stuff, and including this Epstein thing, is a lot of decloaking is going on. A lot of people are showing their face guards of who they actually work for and who they are.
Yeah.
And that's the upside of all this, is that there's no going back for the American conscience of, like...
Well, I've known, it's like when all this AIG stuff, I didn't know exactly how they were getting their money, but I knew they were getting it somehow, and they gave a face to the actual how it was being done. And then the Institutes of Peace and USAID, and it's like, I was so dumb, I'd never even look into USAID. I didn't realize it wasn't aid, it was like the American Institute of...
Are you talking about USAA?
No, aid.
No, USAID.
Oh.
American... Yeah, I always thought it was like aid as in help, but it was a total psyop name. It had nothing to do with helping people. Because, my brother has videos of when he was in Iraq of the USAID food shipments and shit. And then you start thinking back about, I did all that. I was alive during the Black Hawk Down incident. I remember watching on TV when you saw all the USA food deliveries and stuff. So you kind of like think, okay, so they're food, but they had nothing to do with that crap.
It's in the opening scene of Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Really? Is it a shell company of some sorts?
Oh, it was set up by this. It was set up by the CIA, by the Kennedy White House to funnel money into Europe, into Asia, to set up Air America. Yeah.
Yeah.
Air America and all that shit.
It was counter-influence operations against the communists.
But I always thought...
Well, that's what we did with the Afghanis, right?
Well,
with Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, but I always thought that, I didn't realize how they did the money. I always thought it's just the CIA. But then when you find out that the CIA and the State Department were like...
They're like this.
And they're like tied in with each other, and you're like, okay, so they did this through the State Department to funnel money to all their little pet projects.
Yep.
Crap.
You could look at all of our embassies and just assume they're intelligence headquarters. That's what they are.
Oh. Yeah, they don't even hide it anymore.
No.
I think also, I mean, just maybe if we wrap up soon, let's bring it full circle. Let's see if is there any solutions to be able to come about this, to be able to overcome it? Because I think there are, as we've discussed. We can discuss some options, but it seems like overarching task that may seem insurmountable to a lot of people, and seems like there's no hope. So what how do we overcome this?
Well, how do you think we overcome it?
I think that it's important to understand the history of how this happened. One, to keep your head clear about, okay, we do have enemies out there, but they're not necessarily people. It's more of a system. But the system isn't necessarily like anti-governance, and it also depends on the time you live in. Like right now, we live in a time of globalization. Our enemies may shift downrange 200 years from now. Who knows? Assuming we're all still alive. But
Well,
go ahead.
the thing I find interesting is the naysayers all said that we were going to go to war with Iran, and it basically we put a big rock on their head and said, fuck you.
And then
they're
they
not.
hit us back to save face, and now it could be, although I will say it looks like things might be heating up again in the next couple of weeks. So just.
But the thing that scares the shit out of me, talking to my buddies that are still in the military, is the fucking military buildup down in the South China Sea over there by Taiwan. You know, they've been saying that they're going to go to war in 27. I think it's going to happen before the beginning of 26. And
Explain that. What's that about? What do you think,
I
Colin?
don't think that I know what you're talking about, and there is a military buildup. You're right.
Huge.
Taiwan. Well, look, if Taiwan was taken over overtly by the Chinese government, which, look, here's what happened. Taiwan during the revolution and when the communists took over China, the nationalists, Chiang Kai-shek and his crew. Well, Chiang Kai-shek was assassinated, but the families that were backing the nationalists in China during World War II, because there was like a civil war going on in China during World War II and before. It was a massive
Before.
problem. Yeah. Way before
That's
that.
where the English had all their different, like, settlements and stuff
Yes,
going on
and
there.
the British were funding the communists to come in and basically do a hostile takeover of the Chinese government so that they could control it. That was the big move. And that's
Some say that the British were doing it. A lot of it had to do with influence peddling from Russia, too, trying to keep the British from gaining any more power over them. Because the Chinese were clearly backed by, you have like Shanghai, and you had Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yeah, they were all given the power by the people who run Taiwan now, the People's Republic of China or whatever it is.
Yep.
The one with the sun on it. They were given all that land by the people who are in power. So you look at the dynamic, and it's like the British were going in there, and they were getting these leases on these territories, and they were expanding their influence the whole time.
They cut a deal. Yeah.
And some say they cut a deal. Others say that when they were doing the land grab for all the communists, that Russia went in there and just like, yeah, no, we're not going to let the British have more.
And I buy that. At the same time, Russia had a lot of problems internally as well. Why? Because the British did a hostile takeover of the Russian government as well. They're the ones that helped fund the overthrowing of the Tsar, along with the Germans and all. But I count that who set up Nazi Germany, the British. Like, I mean, we had a treaty with them. Like, I mean, Hitler famously was confused as to why the English were even going to war with them. They were like, "Hey, come on, I thought we had a deal." There was
like the Battle of Dunkirk, remember?
Yeah, the Germans let them go.
Yeah,
that's really what this real story is.
Because he thought there was still to be an alliance.
Yes, exactly.
And where does it go back to? Like you keep pointing out, the Dutch.
The Dutch, and then the same
City of London.
Took over that, the City of London, then Amsterdam, then Venice, Rome, Roman Empire, continentals.
Yep.
Yeah, so it all links in with each other.
Yeah.
And it's just a big circle of hell.
So
basically.
what can we do about it though? That's the thing, and
Well,
it
we
seems
got
like
two
it's
oceans between us. We got states' rights theoretically that we could exercise. The more people understand the importance of
What about-
political is power.
What about they're passing that referendum for Alberta to become an independent country. That's
so the
crazy.
new great game is going to be control of the Arctic Circle, is what it looks like, and we need an avenue to get resources up and down from the Arctic. Because the Arctic
Well, they're saying. Yeah, I've been up to the Arctic.
And the reason why I think there is a subtle agreement, and this is a wild shot. I'm going out on a limb here of high octane speculation that I think there's an understanding between the elite families of China, Russia, and the United States that are like, okay, the Continentals have been the thorn in our shoe for 1,000 years. Let's cut them off. What's the only way to cut them off? Cut off the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Trump's putting in a bunch of orders for icebreakers. We're moving up to the Arctic. That's the
we're gonna get Iceland. I mean
that's already pretty much done.
That's a necessary means to be able to move on.
And effectively Iceland, but
a lot of people don't realize there's
that cuts off the Atlantic. And
that
secures us that way.
Well, the thing that's interesting is like we already have 3 bases in Greenland.
Yeah, since World War II, we basically, and when we call the American, we call it the American Empire. It's really the Anglo-American British Empire. That's really what it is.
After World War II, yeah. Well.
We're basically the muscle for the empire. We're the Praetorian Guard for the principal. That is the British aristocracy, and it's not English. It's the Continentals of Europe that took over Britain a long time ago, and these families are still there. And it's really interesting. These families aren't really patriarchal; they're more they're matriarchal. And
well,
the women.
Yes.
Really?
Which also, yes. And
Judaism is matrilineal.
It is. Yes.
And you know what else? Check this out. I found this one out. You know what else society is matriarchal? The Navajo are a matriarchal society
a bunch
too.
Of the natives were. And here's the thing about that. I'm not against. I think there's going to be a real, and this may not. I don't think this will happen in our lifetimes, and maybe not our grandchildren's lifetimes. But there's going to have to be a resurgence and a revivification of the divine feminine spirit within our sisters, because there's a real problem in femininity as there is in masculinity.
Yeah.
But masculinity is there to protect the feminine, right?
Yeah.
So that they can bring up the children in a stable environment. But what's happened is these matriarchal lineages, which are made of men and women both. It's not that it's all women. It's just that their lineage passes down through the matriarchal lens, which also leads it makes sense when you think about the Continentals. They're landlocked. They don't get to go off and explore and be adventurers and do all these things. They have to manage their resources and do covert, sneaky actions all over the place to maintain their power.
Like Luxembourg and all those other little European internal powers.
Yeah, like look at the
Sweden.
Eleanor family, like the Eleanor,
Liechtenstein,
which are tied to the Roosevelts. Look at the Eleanor family. That is a 900-year-old matriarchal lineage.
That's why I always thought it was interesting that Eleanor Roosevelt she got the maiden name of her. That's where they grew it in. That was their.
Yep. They basically implant their operatives in, and then they basically become, because patriarchal lineages last about 250 years tops. That's the success.
Well, but they were both. Not Teddy Roosevelt, but Franklin Roosevelt and Eleanor Roosevelt were cousins.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
She didn't change her last name. She had that Roosevelt title when they got married.
Huh.
Yep.
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah,
I forgot that, but you're right. Yep.
Yeah, and she was. She started this whole like women's liberal because she was a lesbian. And then she tried to go and start her own little lesbian.
It's pretty obvious she was, but it wasn't never confirmed. But it's like the moment I
Yeah,
started
well,
reading into her, I'm like, oh, she's a lesbian. Like,
Jeez,
Oh,
you
yeah.
learn something new every day.
Then tried
Holy
to set
crap.
up. She tried to set up during the. Well, they intentionally allowed the. They wanted the Great Depression. They engineered it. The Roosevelts and them all engineered that shit because they wanted to.
Okay, never mind. I looked up
You
a
saw
picture of her.
you're like,
Yeah, she's a lesbian for sure. Holy crap.
What's
she's
funny
a
is
lesbian.
when that Wedding Crashers, when that old lady starts talking about the Roosevelts, real mature.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right. Oh, that's.
Oh, I thought that was great. I remember because if you like to know the history of that, you're like, that's what.
That's really funny.
That was funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it's like but we're watching this game. So basically, what we're seeing is a bunch of patriarchal I don't know this. This is what E.M. Burlingame, like I said, he's the one who brought this to my attention. All credit to him. He basically is like, okay, a bunch of the patriarchal lineages have like gone, okay, they're out of control. This is insane. They want to depopulate the earth so they can consolidate their gains and keep playing their same games, and they're not going to stop until they are stopped.
Well, there's always that, yeah.
And that's what I think is happening is basically a bunch of families around the world have gone, enough. We're not doing this anymore. And Trump has been allowed to ascend to become basically king of America and king of NATO.
Boy, man, I tell you what, he's come back this time and his give a fuck meter is totally messed up. He just not give a crap. He is
He
off.
gave less of a crap, to be honest. Like, I still feel like a little too much of a crap. To
Dude, the fun thing is, I have to bring this up because I've just been so amused by what he has done. So I have a sect of my family that lives out in California still. And they are Bakewells, but they had land out there in this little crap hole called California City. Then the state comes in, eminent domains all this land out there in California City. And this is how they didn't. I don't know if they actually took, but I heard they eminent domain this land to build a prison in California City. And they spent millions and millions of dollars to build this modern day prison out there. And then they ran it. And then, what I find interesting is I was just reading about because my dad was a correctional officer, about what's going on with corrections, and they're taking on the Dutch system in. So I'm like,
It always goes back to the Dutch.
They're taking on the Dutch system of, that's why the California is falling to shit, is because they're taking on the Dutch system for prisons, and they're putting in like fucking Starbucks and all this other crap in there, and they're making it, hug a thug and all this other.
Always
crap.
gotta have a Starbucks.
Well, yeah, no, like San Quentin has like playgrounds and fucking all the. Anyways. But so they built this prison in California City, which is just north of Lancaster, and over there by Edwards Air Force Base, where all my family's sect is. And so they eminent domain all this land, and they build this prison. They run it for about 8 years, and then they downsize because, granted, the Department of Corrections in California is one of the biggest lobbying group in the whole state. So to try to get some of the power away from that, they kind of like closed some prisons and then made the whole state dangerous. But I'm going off in the weeds. So they have this prison sitting up there, basically just about 40 miles north of L.A. And the federal government comes in and eminent domains the whole prison because it's just sitting there idle. They just have a maintenance staff to keep it, because it's too new to turn to dust. So they maintain it. They got like a small staff of about 50 people to take care of this prison. Feds come in, eminent domain a prison, take it and make it into a federal prison, and it's a holding facility for ICE now. It's like, dude.
I hope they really get stuff done, man. What is ICE is the 16th richest or most funded military in the world of all the countries combined, right? Something like
ICE?
that. Yeah. It's basically a paramilitary group now.
Their old budget was $12 billion. Now it's 175. It's over 100.
That's insane. It's gonna hopefully
It's
do
not just ICE, though.
what we needed
That's
to do.
But that's Homeland Security.
It's Homeland Security. It's for the wall. It's not really just ICE, but they are. But
Deportation, though, too.
And then they built that alligator Alcatraz. That was funny.
That was
I
funny.
think they're. I mean, they at least, because the thing is, you can't force 10 million people out, but you can de-incentivize.
Yeah.
Well, so the very first Border Patrol department ever built is here in Las Cruces. So there's a huge Border Patrol facility here. They're like huge. They have like 3 different areas here that is all Border Patrol. And I was talking to some of my old contacts from when I was working down on the border wall. That's why we kind of moved here, is because I was spending so much time working on that project. One of the many reasons, but so I was talking to, his name will remain anonymous, but I was talking to him. He's like, almost 2 million people have self-deported.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck it, and they just grab their suitcases and they go back. Almost 2 million have self-deported.
What's the incentive structure for that?
If you leave now, you can come back.
If you report yourself, and they even put some cash incentives in place.
You can walk into if you're a foreign national, you can walk up here to the Border Patrol station here on US 70, and it's called Main Street here, right by US 70 and I-40. Big old station. You can walk to the front door as a foreign national, say, here I am, I want to go home, and they will transport you down to El Paso, and they will put you on a plane, and they will fly you to whatever country you want to go to, and they'll give you $5,000.
Hey, I'll do that right now.
Hell yeah.
For vacation.
I probably exaggerate. I think it's like 2,000 or 3,000, but yeah. And then if they catch you, even when you go into the ICE detainer facilities, if you go in there and before you get to a certain point you agree to leave, you can come back. You just got to.
Yeah, you have to come back legally. Yeah.
You have to come back legally, but if they forcibly, like these guys that they're going down and they're picking up and throwing in the back of pickup trucks, they even tell a certain point, if you make us go through the legal process of like going through the magistrate judges and all that stuff, you make us do all this work, you're gone forever. But if you get to this point and you just say, hey, you know what, I fucked up, let me go, out you go.
It's pretty smart because it helps the burdened Department of Justice system, because we're already overburdened quite a bit.
Dude, the thing that's impressive is the unintended consequences, or the wicked problem we have now is the price of housing is already going down because there's so many people are leaving that the demand on housing is already relaxing. The crime rate in Las Cruces is down by 4%.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough adjustment, but it would have been hell otherwise.
It's necessary.
We can manage this, but it was.
Yeah.
But then you got these. Then it's like the thing that's amazing to me is that old statement, they're showing their ass. Like you know what I mean? You ever heard that statement?
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
No, I'm good. It's probably just as hairy as your face, but we don't need to see that. But the attacks on the ICE facilities, they're gotten so accustomed of being assaulted by fireworks and stuff, they're like ambushing the facilities. It's like,
yep. No, it's organized. It's
they're just and they're showing their ass. But I find it very ironic how much of the protesting went away when they started researching where they're getting their money.
Yeah, the King's protest, like, I was really curious to see how much muscle they had to pull.
Yeah.
And I was shocked at how little is left. They've been,
Yeah.
and this is what you do when the empire is crumbling back. If your empire has gotten so out of control, you got these factions doing God knows what, here's what you need them to do. You need them to expend all their firepower and shoot off all their shots. Because, like, think about that attack in Iran. How many years do you think that took? 5? 3?
Oh,
How many?
one where we dropped the nukes on there?
Yeah. You think that
I
was
mean,
just
dropped
like,
it-
let's just go hit them?
Oh, those
You know,
bunker
I
buster
think
bombs.
it's been in the works for the last 20 years,
Yeah, I'd say so.
Easily.
Yeah.
at least.
But once you shoot that shot, it's shot.
They have a whole facility up here in White's in the missile range that they did that replicates that underground facility, and they go and blow it up about every year to test out those munitions. So
is it true that they only reach about 200 feet?
Well, but here's the thing: what happens when you set off 33,000 pounds of high explosive at 200 feet below the ground?
No, I don't have any doubt they didn't destroy that place. That's not my. I'm just curious.
Oh,
because-
they're not. No, yeah, they can go. The first one, depending on the rock structure, it probably got in about 100, 150 feet. But that second one definitely went down there and kicked some
Right.
ass.
Yeah, and they sent in.
Yeah,
stingers, so
I have to say that after having had some insight on some of that project that they were working on, the idea that they dropped 6 bombs in 3 holes perfectly, it's just like impressive, man. That
Yeah.
they dropped.
I
And
was
they
thinking. No, go ahead. Sorry, you were there.
But it's just when you see how much work went into all that project and how much stuff we did up there in the range to help with that, and then you drop, because they did sled testing out here, the world's fastest sleds out here in Holloman.
Yeah.
They did sled testing, and we set up big old slabs of concrete to see how, and then we used various different mixes of concrete to figure out how to bust through the whatever they had on the top.
It
They
took some
spent
balls to
billions.
do it.
What?
It took some balls to do it because we didn't know what their reaction was going to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
I
we
think-
did.
I think. This
No, we
is also-
didn't.
Look, the thing is, we don't know how good they're. Look, here's the big tell. How much air support was flown over Ukraine?
Yeah. There you go.
0.
Well,
So
not from us.
Those I've been watching those S-400 defense systems, and they seem pretty damn good and cheap.
Well, I look at it like this. I think Iran gave the green light to bomb that shit.
Yes.
I don't. They knew it was coming.
Really?
Of course.
They allowed it to happen.
Yes.
We had to say they had to give them. We had to have a reason.
They hit some of our bases in return. No one died. It was all fine. And
Yeah,
now
they
it's over.
evacuated the base like a week before.
Oh,
Even
okay.
said,
Yeah.
Trump said, he's like, oh yeah, they called me. They were so nice about it. We got everyone out. I was like, oh okay, you hit us. That's fine.
Although I like the video of when they get the Sea Whiz going, the land version of the Sea Whiz. Incoming. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
pull that
I actually
trigger.
didn't know that's an interesting view of it because I didn't even think about that. Oh,
What?
That's what I was
It
trying to
was-
say from the beginning. This was all.
Yeah.
You don't.
It's an
imagine-
orchestrated event.
100%. 100%. It's not. There's zero doubt in my mind. That's what happened.
And then what got me
Well,
is so I was upset that at you for what you said was satanic stuff. If you just
Hold on, he left. Yeah. You back?
was he, is your wife
Satanic
talking
stuff.
to you when you do that?
no.
Oh, cat. What's the black and
Sorry, I
cat
just
thing?
dropped something. I had a,
Oh.
It's the internet connection. It's all good.
But
Keep going.
I did some research, So I'm very sensitive to like satanic shit because I've seen some real satanic shit. So I mean, circle back to that. But I do find it interesting that the munitions that were all built in Lindsey Graham's fucking little district there, all the high explosives and all that shit. I'm like,
I was being inflammatory.
No, it's satanic to monetize people's lives for your own gain.
That's what I meant.
So,
I obviously didn't mean LaVeyan Satanist. Do you know what I mean?
No, well, ritualism is gross and disgusting, but killing people for money is more disgusting in my opinion.
But having been involved with building the stuff over here at Holloman for the evacuation of the Afghanis and stuff, the whole fucking thing is nasty. The whole, not to cuss so much, but you just see how much corruption and how much money we spent to build all this shit, and it is just disgusting. How much we
well, how do we fix it if we're just going to be pouring money into garbage?
The thing that frustrates the shit out of me is the way we were going to fix it was through Elon Musk Doge shit, going in there and revealing all that stuff, and now
that turned out to be nothing though.
It didn't.
Oh,
what Colin's itching over here.
This is a whole separate discussion. I'm not sure we have time for it. I mean,
do we want to save Doge? I don't care.
We'll give it another 15 minutes, and then we'll have to go.
I've been talking about Elon Musk's background for a long time, that I don't believe that this guy invented space flight in his basement and is this genius entrepreneur that just has access to the king. The United States government just gave him the keys to the kingdom of space infrastructure. It's absurd. It's stupid on its face. His family history is ridiculous. I mean,
his tie-in with like so much
his
British
mom.
His mom is aristocrat, and his dad is like some sketchy shit.
I mean, just watch her. I mean, she's literally a witch. Like, she's like doing some side. Like, she's weird.
Well, I just think it's interesting. It's like the thing I'm so sick and tired of hearing about is this. He's playing 4-dimensional chess. It's like.
Bannon lit him up today.
Deport him.
Yes, but like hardcore. I actually do. It's a short clip. You guys talk.
Yeah.
Like you tell.
Let's see this
about
clip.
His history. It's he went off.
I got so far behind with all the work I've been doing on the backside for CW Guns and Gear and shit. I haven't been watching any of this stuff.
This is gold right here. Whatever.
It's just when you look at the grand scheme of things, and you're like, I have to. It's just when you look at the flooding.
Oh, it'll drive you insane. I mean, I just 20 years.
I'm sorry, dude. After watching the beginning on Monday, I literally have been spending time over at my buddy's house. Making ammo, getting ready for my big competition in the beginning of August, because I just want to have an escape from all this shit. So I'm over there making ammo and stuff, getting ready to go to do the Rocky Mountain 3-gun shoot, and I just can't. I need an escape from this crap.
Knowledge is a bag full of sorrows. The more you know, the knowledge is a bag full of sorrows. The more you learn, the more you know, the more you.
Just go
realize.
Give me my guns and we'll go shoot shit.
Alright, this is a short clip.
You got to get out of it. I don't blame you, man. We all need something.
Well, you have to have a hobby and escape.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm
especially
sick.
with all this crap.
Well, I know, Colin. I've known you for some time now, and you are sick. But you have good taste in beer, I'll tell you that, man. That beer hall that we went to the last time I was at your house, that was some good food, man.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Alright. See it?
Well, hey, so Daniel, what kind of beer do you drink?
He doesn't.
I don't drink.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm so jealous.
I don't need substances to mute my
don't
feelings.
give me that shit. I'm like, I don't need substances to change my...
Wine is a mocker and beer is a brawler.
That's right. Fuck yeah.
Hold on.
You
If
see
that's
it?
the way you think I drink, hold on.
Is this coming through? I can't.
No, not yet.
No?
You're gonna
Yeah.
hate me.
I can hear it too. We're good.
All right.
All right, listen to this, Cody. This is what's that?
This-
Whiskey.
This was today.
No.
So.
No. We'll show you when this goes down.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, you're gonna hate me for this, but why did Elon Musk tweet that you were on that list?
Do what? I'm not going to hate you for that.
Eli, so she,
I'm just-
Because you know why?
Don't kill the messenger. I'm just
I'm
asking
not. It's a
why.
great question. It's a great question. Because I'm the guy, one of my sole focuses in life is the total and complete destruction of Elon Musk. He's one of the most evil people ever to walk the face of the earth, right? And he's trying to throw out all kind of garbage. Of course it's absurd. Just like it's absurd on President Trump. You saw how evil it was. President Trump brought him into his family. I've never seen President Trump have somebody for Christmas dinner. He had the family there. He let Elon come up with the little boy X, have a photo. He took it in there. And what did he say when he couldn't get his way on the tax cuts for environmental? He went there, and then he said, Trump's in the Epstein file. That's what kind of guy he is. He will smear Trump. He'll smear me. He'll smear anybody who stands in the way. And I'm the one person that stood up to this guy when everybody around kissed his ass, okay? A guy like Elon Musk is not just deeply flawed, he's pure evil, and Musk understands something. I am 100% focused on your total and complete destruction, and bro, we're making real progress, okay? We're making real progress. You know why? Because you're completely and totally evil, and you're an illegal alien. You should be deported back to South Africa immediately.
Holy crap.
Oh, Steve Bannon's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So here, put that down. We'll show you the man's drink here. Yeah. Rye whiskey, brother.
He didn't
Bourbon.
even. Yeah, no,
Hold on.
nice.
When you
I love
get
how
over
he
the
thinks
age of
that's fancy, though.
when you get over the age of 30, we'll introduce you to the man drink here.
No, we
I'll
won't.
put some hair on my chest.
No. Well,
On
actually,
your
you do
balls.
need some, but
Yeah, we'll put some hair on your balls, through your chest. That's for your
no,
wife.
you don't need that. No, stay away. It's the devil talking. Ignore it.
Come on, I need more vices. Let's
No,
think
you
of some
don't.
more
Oh,
options.
what vices do you have, Mr. Puritan over here? What vices?
I
do you
am a child of God. I have no problems.
have? Your dad's not here watching. You can tell us the truth.
His wife's there, so.
Is she really?
No, she's
think-
asleep.
Really? How do you get that to happen?
What?
Man,
I drug her.
Be careful.
drug her? I like this. Keep going.
No,
Let's
I'm
hear-
kidding. Everybody, don't take me seriously. I didn't drug her.
Don't worry, we
She
know.
went to
So-
bed on her own volition.
All right.
No.
Well, anyway, and it's not just that. He goes in a little deeper. That look.
I think we hit a chord with Colin.
SpaceX
He wants
is. Well, I won't go too deeper into this.
We're just wrapping up here, yeah.
SpaceX
Yeah.
is funded by us. It's a government.
No, I know.
program. And
Yeah.
he technically owns 50% of it, and
So is Tesla.
Tesla, tunneling, all this shit. It's all dark.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's all funded by the American taxpayer. It's not. Except that they allowed him to go overseas to do contracts with China. And other
In
countries.
Europe and
In Europe and all the things. Yep, and because that's really how the world is run. It's not through nation states up until this point. This is the point in time that we were talking about where the old kings and princes are coming back onto the scene saying, you know what? I'm tired of this nebulous corporate aristocracy that has zero accountability. I want to take care of my country. And you don't
America
have to be
first.
You don't, or Denmark first, or England first, or France first, or Germany first,
I wish-
or whatever. You know.
I thought it was interesting how Trump went to meet the King of Denmark, and they kind of like swept that underneath the rug. Don't you
I
find
actually
it
didn't know that they met. When was that?
about a week or so ago when he went over there for the
Interesting.
NATO when he went over there for the NATO summit?
Is there footage? I didn't know he met with the king. Is there footage?
Yeah, let me see.
I saw the king at Denmark once when I was over there. He came out for the Orange Festival or whatever in Amsterdam. Very, very interesting.
Have you ever been to the red light district?
A couple of times.
I only saw it on a tape.
Just browsing. No, it's disgusting.
I know.
I went to go see what it was, what the hype was about, and it's just like, it's just footballer hooligans going, oh yeah, he says I goes like this, oh I go like that, it's just gross. It's like, all right, I'm going away. I'm gonna go have a weed cookie and go to sleep. Bye.
I knew it. I knew you had a weed cookie.
They have weed coffee shops over there.
They're great. To be honest, it's worth it. They have like whole movie theaters. You just go up and you just have a.
Let me see if I can get this.
And you just go to sleep watching Alice in Wonderland. It's like,
Here, let me see if I can get this to. Let's see if I can get this to work. I've never done the share screen. That's. Okay.
So you click the share button, old man.
Yeah. Yeah, right here.
oh, nice.
Yeah, it has music
All right,
and
let's
stuff.
see.
Yeah.
Does it say what they say? Is there dialogue or is it just video?
No, it's just him meeting. He was there for several hours.
Well, that's the thing is, like, even the king of Denmark is under hostage of this. It doesn't mean that the Dutch as a nation
Well, I know, but-
are learning this.
But you know they were talking about because the king of Denmark has control over of Greenland.
Oh, I mean, maybe. I'm sure.
Yeah.
A lot of these negotiations, I think, happen kind of quietly. And then these are, like, public, like, okay, now
Yeah.
it's like legitimizing whatever's about to happen.
Yeah.
And I think the king is all for, okay, yeah, no, I'm down for this. The banks have taken control of Europe a long time ago. We don't control anything. We're figureheads. Get after him, Donnie. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out in the next 10 years.
Holy shit. While he was there, Trump finalized a mining deal for the United States for rare earth minerals.
Where?
When he was at there. Trump...
In Denmark?
Yeah, that was part of the deal he was there for. 7 days ago, they finalized...
Dang. That's interesting.
It's
it
mostly
was
for, like, magnets and things like that.
No, I mean...
Interesting. Well...
Gentlemen, I think it's getting late, though.
I think so. I'm done. That was fun.
No,
That was
yeah,
good.
this was very good.
Got a lot out there. That was good.
I think it was really good that we kind of laid out we started with Epstein, which is kind of funny, but we kind of laid the groundwork for how the internationalists are gaining control and how what we see today is basically a rehashing of what has been going on over the last 1,500 to 2,000 years. Nothing's new, and
Ever since Babylon.
the way to combat it is to stay informed and to
Babylon 5. There you go.
we need to stand up. We can't just let things happen, right? That's what happened during COVID. We can't just stand by, right? We can't just let mass vaccination, mask mandates, things like that to control us.
Yeah.
That's a way to overcome it.
We'll save that for our wives. So I'm just kidding. Anyways, if you guys got this far, we really appreciate you contributing to our rabbit hole fall. And I was glad to bring Daniel in. I thought that was fun.
Thank you for having me, Cody.
It was
Appreciate
a lot of insight there. Just very appreciated it. And thank you, Colin, for contributing some of your conspiracies. It made for some enlightenment as well. So, all right, gentlemen. It was fun. We'll have to do this again.
Yep.
And y'all stay tuned for the next episode.
All right.
I'll be right back.